All save, build a. Sound money. All right.
Hello, guys. Good morning. Ugly.
Yeah, Monday morning, it's not fun getting here, is it?
No, well,
Particularly when you live an hour away.
I live probably 2 hours away.
That far?
Yeah.
Sometimes, well, you
Well,
commute.
I commute, so
Yeah,
I'm a little late, guys.
That's why you spend the night half the time over
Yeah.
here.
For the same reason.
Yeah, guys. So, at any rate, we'll go into that later. We've got this thing set up, so we got people that'll be staying here. You know, particularly if they're coming on a scholarship to one of the workshops. But yeah, and then or even if some of them are coming to the workshop and don't want to stay in a fancy hotel, so they can just stay here. And so, well, at any rate, I've been really in a tear writing a lot of articles because I'm so stoked about the conference. And this one I just did was, I just got done outlining the fundamentals, which we did on the last read through. This one, I didn't even know that it was going to come out because I'm actually writing, an epistle on the future of Bitcoin banking and trying to be as thorough as I can on it. And then I came across this and I went in and just decided, you know what, I'm going to look into stock and flow. Actually, I invited Plan B to come to the conference, and he couldn't make it because, I love that model he has, and everybody else does too. But I wanted to go through and really check it out critically, and so I did. And I just come to the conclusion, it really, the stock and flow, because Bitcoin is so unique, the model doesn't apply to it. I think it's very dangerous anytime we apply any model to Bitcoin because it's a whole new thing. It's an innovation. And we don't know, and it's a little bit pretentious when we do.
Right.
And we might get into big trouble about it. But, I've seen other models. I think with Murad Murdudov, I hope I pronounced. He did a great model. This one's a great model. But the conclusion I got, I'm not here to badmouth the model, but rather it kind of says, hey, you know what? This really kind of unites us in a way because if Bitcoin is really different, we really have to treat it different. So let us start out. There are differences between the Bitcoin standard and the gold standard. They are both dynamic, but in different ways. They are both sound money and serving different functions, and they should both be embraced for their respective use cases to further competition in currencies. And it is a mistake to dismiss. It is a mistake to dismiss either or put them in the same box. And I think it's a hard line to walk. But I find so many Bitcoiners are really down on gold standard advocates, and of course, particularly like Peter Schiff, he completely doesn't get it. And there is they're two different things, guys. And unless you think Bitcoin is going to be a world reserve currency, I don't have that opinion, but I know others do. I know Michael Saylor came out and said the same thing. But maybe we're wrong. That's why we want to have this conference.
Sometimes we're wrong.
Yeah, but that's how you have these discussions.
Right.
So, like I say, more than once. So I'm kind of all these topics that we have at the conference, and why don't you go through and hit the conference so we can just go through it. What's
schedule?
Inspired? Yeah, conference, do the schedule. What's inspired me to be, and I'm just. Like I say, writers know this. Once you get going, you just can't stop. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. And that's where I am. And so, we've had all these great topics. Thank God for Bitcoin. And then the difference between Bitcoin and the Bitcoin standard. Well, this article didn't start out that way, but I said, wow, here's a difference between Bitcoin and the Bitcoin standard, and I want to explain why. So as we do these articles, at least topics also overlap each other to some degree. And again, I'm working on an opus magnum, I think that's all, or something on what is the future of Bitcoin banking. I was working on that, and then I wrote this article. So that's where I'm at now, and hopefully I'll just keep on this tear. I'm the gold lady is kind of mad at me because I'm just spending all my time. I mean, I sleep for 2 or 3 hours and get up and start writing some more and revising stuff. And so let's go back and go through this thing. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about these topics and what we're going to be doing at this conference. So more than once I've been asked to distinguish between Bitcoin and the Bitcoin standard, and the distinction is simple. Bitcoin is static. It's secured by the longest chain with proof of work and has a fixed supply. This is the innovation of Bitcoin. Read more.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Okay.
This is why Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone is the candidate for the standard in the digital universe. This is the feature, the uniqueness, and the strength of Bitcoin, not a shortcoming. And it is for this reason that the Bitcoin standard is dynamic. And so what I want to first explain is Bitcoin is static. It's a fixed amount, but Bitcoin standard is dynamic. And we're constantly working with it and going new places with it. So we want to be careful on the path that we take. This parallels the emergence of the gold standard. Gold as a commodity is static. It's just gold, and it's secured by its scarcity, by mining difficulty, and relatively fixed supply. And gold has the highest stock-to-flow ratio of all commodities. Most of the gold mined over the past 6 years remains in existence. And new gold coming from production, which is the flow, is small in comparison to the total gold stock. So that means there's never a shortage of gold. This is important to understand, guys. There's never a shortage of gold because it means that gold futures never go into backwardization except for short periods of time and in isolated locations, okay? And the reason for that is even if the gold price rises substantially, the amount of new gold that's produced is a small part of the total stock, but the total stock is plentiful. So, so there's really no shortage of gold. You're not going to have a squeeze that so many people have predicted forever and ever. That it will squeeze, forcing ourselves back on the gold standard. No, it doesn't quite work that way. The gold standard has to be voluntary. So it is ironic that and I'm quoting from this Philip Barton from the Gold Institute, and so he explains it this way. I don't agree with all of this, but it's a worthwhile quote because I think he does identify the stock to flow and why Bitcoin is really not a candidate for stock to flow. It's ironic that there is a common belief that gold is money because it is precious, because there is so little of it. Gold is money because there's so much of it relative to the flow. When there's only a small stock of metal or any commodity compared to the flow, then the price of that commodity can fluctuate enormously. Wow, what does that describe? Kind of describes
learning
Bitcoin.
Something today.
Yeah,
I'm
it kind of explains Bitcoin. That's something that fluctuates, very volatile. A new large mine would increase the flow and drop the price of the metal. Okay, and but a sudden closing of a large mine would increase the price dramatically. Such volatility in supply would cause great instability in the perceived value of any metal with a small above ground stock. Okay, but gold has a large above ground stock, and the production is very small compared to that stock. It is the stock to flow ratio that ensures that gold continues to hold a steady value because of its high stock to flow ratio. Gold holds its value with a stability that is matched by nothing else and can be matched by nothing else because gold has been successfully used as money for so long, it is now impossible to imagine how anything else could ever succeed as money. Even if a new commodity appeared that satisfied the many functions and requirements of money, it still would not be able to achieve the high stock-to-flow ratio necessary for real stability of value over time. It is the high stock-to-flow ratio of gold, higher than anything else, and I know Bitcoiners are going to disagree with me here, but hear me out, okay, which ensures that gold holds its stable value over the longest period of time. Gold has been accumulated for over 6,000 years to achieve the stock-to-flow ratio that it has today. How could anything else ever match this? Gold has a stock-to-flow ratio with the consequent stability of value sufficient to ensure that it will forever remain the only money. That is the significance of the stock-to-flow ratio. The stock-to-flow ratio underpins the whole theory of gold as money. It doesn't get any more important than that, and I'm agree with that. This means there is never a shortage of gold, and it means gold never goes into backwardization except for short periods of time in isolated locations. It is ironic that there is a common belief that gold is money because it is precious, because there is so little of it. Gold is money because there's so much of it relative to flow. Wow, what that was an eye opener to me. Now, and I go to the article where you can go study. No, we're not going to go there. No. They can do that on there. While gold as a commodity is static, it is because of these features that the gold standard is dynamic. With gold as a standard, self-liquidating commercial paper, real bills, and other forms of credit emerged. These were not gold, but gold substitutes created off-chain, to use a modern lingo, on the gold standard. But is gold stock-to-flow sufficient that it will forever remain the only money? Well, that's what he said in the article, and I disagree with that part. I think that's wishful thinking at best, as gold is simply a competing standard in the marketplace. When we realize that, it's a genuine competing standard. It's not I'm not totally against competing standards, but there's got to be one digital standard. Gold is a different, totally different standard. Fiat money is different from gold and different from Bitcoin. And I think it's important that we all have to get these ideas through our heads. Modeling Bitcoin with the stock to flow requires a premise that delayed release of a fixed production is an inflation rate. And I really cringe. I personally cringe every time I hear Bitcoiners abuse the term inflation in this manner. Because it's not. It's a delayed production, guys. It's a fixed known quantity that's going to be made. But it is exactly this premise that is required for the stock to flow model to work. And that's how they use it. And I think they've gone too far by making that a premise. They made the premise, and I'll demonstrate that. Without the inflation rate assumption, comparing Bitcoin and gold is like comparing apples and oranges. And that is one reason why I believe so many Bitcoin fundamentalists overstate the importance of halvings. This halving stuff is really big stuff, out there in the Bitcoin world. And I get it, it's something to it, but I just think it's way overrated, and it kind of has been a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I don't think the foundation is strong if trying to apply this stock-to-flow ratio to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is so unique. You can't apply it that way. The only way you can apply it is you have to smuggle certain premises in that really don't fit. There's an even more daring assumption required to make Bitcoin fit into the stock-to-flow model by likening Bitcoin to a base metal as scarce as gold. And Plan B is the one that wrote this. And incidentally, I invited Plan B. He wanted to come, but he just couldn't. And so it's too bad he won't be at the conference, because I'm not...
he was going to come?
No, well, I invited him. And a lot of people I invited, they just couldn't make it. And it was, he was one that I really was hoping would accept. And we're definitely in communication. I hope he's read this article. I tagged him when I tweeted.
Wow.
I tagged him and Saifedean. So Bitcoin is the first scarce digital object the world has ever seen. It is scarce like silver and gold, and can be sent over the internet, radio, and satellite. It's not scarce like silver and gold. It's far more scarce. It's got a fixed supply. Gold and silver don't. They assume again. He assumes it here, and actually Satoshi Nakamoto does it in the white paper, and I think he errs here, because as a thought experiment, this is a premise. Imagine there's a base metal as scarce as gold, but with the following properties: boring, gray in color, not a good conductor of electricity, but not particularly strong, not useful for any practical ornamental use, but it had one special magical property: it can be transmitted over a communication channel. And here's the link. Don't link it. That is Plan B's original paper.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can go look at it. We're not going to go through it. This is the classical logical error of all science, in that it asserts the consequent by assuming an ought and concluding with an is. Scientific modeling can be useful, and I think the Plan B is useful. I found it fascinating. But it is not a source of truth. Science can be useful, but it is not true. Now, I realize to many that this is a rather bold statement, but most of the world's top scientists recognize this. And if I do then quote one of my mentors. He's no longer with us, but and you can click. We'll read it first. Science proceeds by testing a hypothesis through experiments. From a hypothesis, a scientist deduces that X is done, Y will occur. He then proceeds to perform an experiment. Y occurs, and therefore he concludes the hypothesis is confirmed. This form of argument is another logical fallacy, and all laboratory experimentation commits the fallacy. Its formal name is asserting the consequent. If P, then Q, Q, therefore P. Here's another way: if Einstein's theory of relativity is true, then light will bend in the presence of massive objects. Light bends passing the sun, therefore Einstein's theory of relativity is true. Or put it less scientifically, if it is raining, the streets are wet, therefore it is raining. Okay, that's asserting the consequent. So the source is John Robbins. You can click on that, show them we're not going to go through it, but it's a really good paper. It goes through the whole history of science. Just scroll down a little bit. We'll show them there. He goes through. Science is always, he quotes all the scientists, Bertrand Russell, Einstein, Popper. It's a very fascinating article. Yeah, it should. You may not agree with it, but I think you'll know where I'm coming from at least. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back. No, we're going down a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go.
There you go. Okay. Bitcoin. Now, here's the deal. Bitcoin is not a base metal. They assumed it was for the purpose of the modeling, but it's not. It's a number on a secure digital network. Both Plan B and Satoshi Nakamoto impute the magical property of transporting a scarce base metal over a communications channel to Bitcoin. Bitcoin does amazing things, people. It's, I'm a Bitcoin holler, but it doesn't do this. Bitcoin is not a Star Trek transporter. But such false assumptions must be made to reach the desired conclusion, and that's the weakness of the model. And the false conclusion leads Plan B to the assertion that he said, well, people ask me, well, where's all the money going to come from? Well, it's going to come from gold and silver and other things too. But this is where the friction is. There's this friction where these fundamental gold standard people are just against Bitcoin, and some of the fundamental Bitcoin people just can't reconcile gold. And I think there's common ground here, but we have to be careful. We just have to treat them as two separate things, and to try and fit Bitcoin into the stock and flow model. I think it doesn't work, and it doesn't work because Bitcoin is unique. It's not a metal. It doesn't have a stock and flow. It has a fixed supply. And it's a sad state of affairs is that such poor thinking on both gold circles and Bitcoin circles, it polarizes the debate for sound money. Gold is not the only standard. Neither is Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin has a fixed supply, the stock to flow model is simply inapplicable. Applying stock to flow to a fixed amount in the ether is an attempt to fit a square peg into a round hole. And as Barton puts it, where there's only a small stock of a metal or any commodity compared to the flow, then the price of that commodity can fluctuate enormously. I'm not saying Plan B, stock and flow, is wrong. There's really not a right or wrong in this. In fact, it's been uncannily accurate, you know. But the logic is flawed. The modeling works just fine until it doesn't. And so I don't see this modeling. This modeling will change. It's not going to continue to work forever. When it's going to stop? It might have already stopped. We just don't know. But it works just fine until it doesn't, or until something else comes better comes along. And that's what science is. Science is not a source of truth. Science is useful, but science constantly changes. And we need to look no further than the history of geocentrism. You know what that is?
No, actually, I don't.
Okay.
Teach me.
Geocentrism is when everything revolves around the Earth instead of around the sun.
I really didn't pay attention in school.
Okay. No, I know that, but now you're
No,
learning.
you don't say that.
But that was a big paradigm shift, you know, and people were, you know, burned at the stake for it, you know.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Copernicus, Galileo. Oh, yeah, it was big time, you know.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. The
I'm pretty
Catholic
sure they were thinking they were
man.
witchcraft or something, right?
Well, yeah, because you know,
them saying
it
that
was Copernicus and Galileo. They were using a telescope, and that's how they figured it all out. So, but guys, Bitcoin has a fixed supply. There is not a small stock of Bitcoin compared to the flow. There's none. There is no stock. There's 21 million. That's it. Changes the whole game. It's a different ball game. Bitcoin is a new technology. It is a new ball game. Get excited about it and let's figure it out. All right. Now, that's also the reason that it's such a lousy store of value that repeatedly loses 80 to 90% of its value, but it remains a worthy speculation. I've never, you know, said, yeah, buy this thing expecting to get rich. Nobody that really understands Bitcoin or promotes Bitcoin does that. It's the shitcoiners that want to get everybody rich. We just see it as sound money. And we're going to haul it because we think over time it will appreciate. We don't know how it's going to get there. Hey, this also explains why Bitcoin futures often go into backwardization while gold futures do not. I'll add this. I didn't put this in this article, but this is why I don't think there'll ever be a deliverable futures contract on Bitcoin. Because it'll be a way, if anybody could actually take delivery of Bitcoin, buy futures, and take delivery, they could corner the Bitcoin market, because it's not like more is out there. They have to drive it up to the point where Bitcoin comes onto the market. I think it would still work, but I'd be very surprised if we ever have a deliverable Bitcoin futures contract, and I'm not sure it would even be desirable. Bitcoin is a different beast, and to try and fit it into past models, I think could be, and that's what we are constantly trying to do, could be a big mistake. Saifedean Ammous has pointed out that the most effective attack against Bitcoin is for nation states to restore the gold standard. Further, Bitcoin fundamentalists argue because Bitcoin is anti-fragile, such attacks should be embraced and welcomed. The gold standard and the Bitcoin standard are not at odds with each other. They are different. There are differences between the Bitcoin standard and the gold standard. They are both dynamic, but in different ways. Unlike shitcoins, the gold standard is an honest competing standard with the Bitcoin standard. They are both sound money, serving different functions, and they should both be embraced for their respective use cases to further competition in currencies. It is a mistake to dismiss either or put them in the same box. And then I said, is it time for sound money advocates it is time for sound money advocates to ask themselves, can't we all just get along? Do you remember who said that one?
It was in a movie, right?
No, it was a guy that got beat up way back there in the 90s. What was his name?
Rodney King?
Rodney King.
Rodney King.
That's
I
Rodney
remember
King.
that. Yeah.
That's a Rodney King. Can't we all just get along? And that's kind of...
Wasn't he saying that when he was getting beaten up?
Yeah,
I remember that.
So
Man,
here we are, guys.
like
If you're a
5 or 6
Bitcoiner and you're getting all beat up, just say, hey, can't we all just get along? And that's kind of where I am. I feel like Bitcoiners and gold standard guys, hey, you know what? It's both sound money. Can't we all get along? Stop beating me up.
Yep. Man, I remember that. Wow, that was like...
All right. Well, that's our little story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's the flavor and spirit that we're going to have at this Bitcoin conference. And let's go through that a little bit, guys.
All right. Hold on.
All right, let's go back. Hey, if you like this read through and you want to support the Goat Lady, all you have to do, here it is, guys. August 11th through the 15th. This is 4 nights, 5 days, everything covered. Okay? Now, you come here on Wednesday. If you're driving down here, just drive to San Diego border, San Ysidro. You get hop. It's an hour down. You come in the morning or eat lunch at La Fonda. That's what I recommend. Come down, check into the hotel, enjoy the
La Fonda. That's in Rosarito?
It's between Rosarito and
oh, kind of like next to the toll booth?
No, it's just before you get on the free road.
Keep mentioning it. I want to go with my family.
Road. Oh, it's
on the free road? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right over this beautiful beach.
Oh, okay. Oh, you go under the toll booth?
Yeah, no, you don't go that far.
Okay.
But it's right up there, and that's right. So you can have this beautiful lunch, and they have a great breakfast. They really do.
Okay.
I bet all the foods go, but it's over the beach, and then when you're done, you can go walking down on the beach and
kind of like a pier.
No, it's up on a cliff.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh damn, I haven't been
no,
there.
it's really no,
it's nice.
Everybody I take there, wow, this is something else. So La Fonda.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
And we can look it up and show it, but we'll do that another time. La Fonda, we'll put that on there. That's what I reckon. I love that place, and they have good margaritas there too.
Oh, really? So,
guys, here's what we're offering too. The first 80 tickets, okay? Because if you're flying in, we will pick you up at the airport and get you back for your flight. Keep that up there, okay? And we also are offering COVID testing. Now, you don't need COVID testing. If you're driving in or coming in from Mexico, it's not necessary. The only thing you'll need COVID testing for is if you're on an international flight leaving Mexico. Okay, you need to make that clear because people go, "Oh, I'm not going to come because I got to take a COVID test."
Yeah,
no.
It actually says here, free in-conference COVID testing.
Well, we don't have to go anywhere. We're going to be there. You can take your test.
Just
let us know you can take a test, and we'll arrange that you have the test. Maybe I should change that phraseology.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. But that's why I say COVID testing only required if you are departing Mexico by air. So if you're flying, so if you're flying to the United States, like we went to the Miami conference, and we had to have the COVID before we went to the United States flying. I can walk across into the United States. I can drive into the United States. That's not necessary. It's the airplane that makes the difference.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's the only thing. And
I'm pretty sure that's why people are getting confused by that.
Right, Mexico, you can fly. You can fly from Mexico City to Tijuana or Acapulco or Mazatlan, anywhere from Merida, anywhere in Mexico and there's no COVID testing. It's only international flights.
Okay.
International flights. Any domestic Mexican flight, I think you got to wear a mask, but that's it. There's no COVID testing. And the Mexican rates are real cheap. At least they were. I'm sure everything's going up. Yep. But at any rate, that's it. Now, if you want to, the way you do this, we have, let's hit that. You can buy a ticket. Hit that one. That way we can go through the packages. Now, the conference itself is $950, but we want you to come to the whole thing. So scroll down. We got extras. We got the Carnivory dinner, which is $300, and then we have after the conference we're going on an adventure tour, and that's another $950.
So we recommend the full package.
Full ride, because you're actually gonna get a ride. We give you a ride. Pick you up, get you back. Everything's covered.
Bags moved here and there. From A to B.
16. That's $19.95. But if you hit one of the pictures up there of the speaker, you get a 15% discount. Now scroll down. We also have this one down. We have these VIP packages. If you're gonna, you want a little premium accommodations. You want access to the speaker lounge. And you get a membership to my newsletter. And then we've got a VIP package, but the one that's really the great value is this one here. It's the VIP package with the workshops. Okay. Again, this is an extra 2 days. First, you start with a 3-day, 2-night exclusive at a 5-star resort and Villa Suite. It's El Cielo. And a lot of the
Hyperwave?
speakers, for the workshops,
Damn.
a lot of speakers going to be there
Awesome.
early, so you'll be able to walk around with some of the speakers, including me and the Goat Lady, and Tone Vase, Jimmy Song, Giacomo Zucco, Bitcoin Mechanic, Knut, and other VIPs. You'll get a full conference ticket for 2. You get access to the speaker lounge. Plus, you get one Jimmy Song programming blockchain workshop and one Giacomo Zucco running Bitcoin workshop. That's a $5,000 value right there. So, but you get that. You get a premium conference accommodations at the Hotel Lucerno. You go on the adventure tour. And you get my newsletter. We pick you up and take you back to the airport. And the other thing we just want to say, if Bitcoin's treated you well and you want to help with the educational process, you can get this package. And if you have relatives or friends that want to come to the conference, we're not going to give them the 5-star accommodations, but we'll let them. They can go to the workshop. You bought them a scholarship. Mm-hmm. You're not going to do it, but they're going to be going to that. And I'll throw in an extra full conference ticket for them, so they can actually go to the conference. They can go to
Adventure tour?
the adventure tour and to the full conference. And
No carnivory?
oh, we probably. I wouldn't plan on putting not the canary.
Okay.
But I can't.
Too much.
I can't give away everything. Gee whiz. But yeah, I mean, it's a great way, and they can stay actually here. We've got room. I think we've got room for 3 women and 10 men now at the at this house. So we'll have places. If they're scholars, they won't stay at the hotel. They're not going to. They won't be at the Horsepower Ranch, but we'll take them there. They're just not going to spend the night there. They'll spend the night here. And that way it keeps our costs down. But that way, they don't mind if you're on a scholarship, it's on a scholarship, and you're still taken care of. So there we go. All you got to do to get that discount is let's go. Yeah, let's go and look at these workshops so they see that. Okay. That's on home all the way down, or workshops. I guess about workshops.
Yeah, that one was better than. Here we go.
Yeah, those 2 right here. Yeah, there it is. There's a programming workshop. This is and that's like $4,000, guys. So
not cheap.
No, it's not cheap. But you cannot take it.
You have to learn or basics of Python.
Right.
So
you don't want to throw your funds away until he does a little test. And then Giacomo, he's going to be the and we're selling out these workshops. I think the workshops are more popular than my conference. I hope that changes. But anyway, they're doing pretty good. And so if you but the big selling point, Tone Vase is going to be here. He's going to take Giacomo's full node class. So if you're ever going to take a full node class, you want to take it now because you're going to hang out with the big boys.
Oh wow, this is different. I didn't know this. Did he add this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's got it all.
Oh, wow. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So, So, Tone's going to take the class. Mm-hmm. I want to, but I got to.
Ugly, you're going to be running around with
I'll be running around. I doubt if I'll be able to. So, but that's kind of the plan. Mm-hmm. All right. So now how do you do all this? Well, you just go to one of the panelists, and you can probably go down to the most beautiful one on there, which is the Goat Lady. Let's do the Goat Lady now. There she is. You just hit the Goat Lady, and there she is. She's on a panel. You can see what she's doing. Now hit the register conference, and just by doing that, you get 15% off. You scroll down and do the drop-down menu. Okay, conference and full ride. There it is. And you have to pay in Bitcoin, but it all adjusts. So it's right now you get 15% off. That'll be
$16.95.
$16.95, and then the Goat Lady, because she has a beautiful picture up there, she gets a little part of that too, because she brought in. it's our way of, it's just an affiliate program, guys. And
Right.
I'm not bringing in that many people. These guys are bringing in, and we want to thank them for bringing
Right.
you, because you're not coming here to see me. You're coming here to see
Them.
somebody else. So that's it. You can see the VIP with the workshop is down there. Again, that's $14,995. But guys, you get 15% off of that price. So it's not 15 grand. It's 15% less than that, which you take a couple grand off. This is a bargain, guys. It really is. I can't help it. I've only got maybe 5, probably 3 VIP with workshops. Okay. Because that is kind of a special deal. We're going to be out there at the winery. You come in on Monday and check in there. Very relaxing thing. It's right out in the middle where the
winery? I've never been there.
Yeah, that's right there, right where the grapes are and everything.
Oh,
And
wow.
the hotel,
That's nice.
and they're individual. It's beautiful. Has a little lake there and so forth. All right, so that's how we do it. I don't think, is there anything else I need to cover? Not really. So, again, I'm excited about this thing. It's got me inspired to do a lot of writing. And then, of course, we can go through we're going to we'll have the awards night. We're going to actually have a Bitcoin Standard Bearer Award on Wednesday night. Go to the schedule again.
Okay,
All right. So we go all day. Again, we have a carnivory dinner when you come in on Wednesday. And then we have conference all day. Yeah, just hit the schedule. Conference. There you go. There you go. So here you go. And we're going to go all day the first day till about 5. Scroll down. There's all these topics that we're going to be using. And then we go down here. We're going to have a poolside buffet right after the first day. And then about 8 o'clock, we only have one speaker, and that's going to be Giacomo Zucco.
Right.
And he's going to be the keynote speaker at the conference. We'll have a little entertainment there, we'll have a little awards, and then we're done for the night, and we start the next day. And we have another full-day conference. We go all day, and at 5 o'clock, between 5 and 7, we take you all out from the hotel to the Horsepower Ranch. All your bags will already be out there, and then as you check in there, you can hit the Horsepower Ranch. This is a beautiful place, and we're going to have ATVs out there. We're going to have, it's very kid friendly. We'll have playground for the kids. There's a big swimming pool out there. I guess there's going to be electric bikes, horses. And so all this stuff is going to be available to you guys. And I just wanted to pass that on. Then what happens, we have a little barbecue that night. You can go to bed early and get up early and go on the adventure tour, or you can party all night and get up late and go later, because they'll have different trips going on throughout the day. And we actually go you can see it on the map there, we're going to go from where it says Horsepower Ranch to where it says Ojos Negros. And we'll go there, have a little tacos, or depending on when you go, breakfast or tacos. It's where all the guys on 4x4s hang out. And then we come back and you wash all that dust off you and get ready for
your trip back home.
Well,
No,
we're
some
going
of
to
them are
party that
staying,
night.
right?
No,
Oh, wow.
we're having a party that night.
Dang.
We're going to have a live entertainment by the pool and a big barbecue, and then the next morning you get up for breakfast, then you go home.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's the way
Not
it
bad.
works. And, okay, I think we're done. I think I've covered it all. Again, guys, it's just incredible the value of this trip. We've got, I think it's just going to be, we want this to be the best Bitcoin conference ever. Exciting. We want the content to be great, and we want you to have a lot of fun, because, you do these adventure tours, and it's challenging. You find out what you're made of and what these people are.
They're really tough. Well, remember when we went? Oh man, my hands were hurting.
You're going like this all the
Yeah.
Yeah, but you wrote the ATV the whole way.
Oh yeah, well that was
that's
that was a
rough.
little bit. Yeah, that is a little bit rough.
I mean, I like the ATVs, but you went a long time on the ATVs. So,
Yeah.
all
No,
right.
I went and came back on the ATV.
I know you
Yeah,
did. That was
yeah.
I mean, I know. So,
It was
all
fun,
right.
though.
So here we go. You can see the lineup of just at there at top. We got some superstars. We got David Puel, who's one of the best Bitcoin fundamentalists out there. We've got Bitcoin Mechanic there. We've got Jimmy Song. There's me in the middle. Tone Vase, Knut, Svanholm, Giacomo, and then we have many others. So speakers.
Don't miss out, guys.
So that's just the beginning. Go up there to panelists again. So if you want the 15%, hit panelists. Okay. Scroll down to your favorite disc. There we got Thomas Hunt, Mad Bitcoin, Robert Allen, who does Bitcoin and Friends. We got 3 authors from Thank God for Bitcoin, and we just did a show with Gabriel Devine yesterday, and Daisy's going to be coming, Mir, and we got Victor Villacana, and he's designed the equity app that we use to measure our risk trading on BitMEX. Guy Swan, who I've never met, but we did a show, and he's the most well-read guy on Bitcoin on the planet, so maybe he'll teach us a thing or two. We've got
Patrick?
Yeah, Patrick, Bitcoin motorist, and he's going to be a moderator, and I tell you, that's a big job. I'm going to probably step down from my one moderation because I rather have somebody else moderate. I think we've
Really?
got really good We've got the moderators are going to be. We've got I think who are the moderators going to be? Bitcoin Motors, Juan Galt, Tone Vase, Jimmy Song. I think Mir. Yeah, she's going to be a moderator on one, and so is Daisy Costa. She's going to be a moderator. So there we go. Yeah, Mir Laponi. She's actually Giacomo's wife. So there we go. I don't think so. Kachina, he's still an if. He hasn't said he is not coming, but I'm not sure if he'll be making it or not. But at any rate, thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't miss this thing. If they have any questions, should they get a hold of us? Send an email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Support
And what
email.
address?
Isn't it support@uglyoldgoat.com? Isn't that it?
Or don't we have one for the conference now too, or no? No. Okay,
No.
support@uglyoldgoat.com. Try that. Support@uglyoldgoat.com because we read that.
All right, guys.
At
We'll
least
see
somebody
you
does,
later.
right?
What, like around noon?
Oh, I forgot that. We are
Yeah.
having, scroll up. Let's get, we have, well, maybe scroll down.
No, it's down.
Okay.
Oh, here he is.
Okay, Lamar Wilson's. I've never met him. He comes highly recommended by Jimmy Song, and
He's gonna be on the show
He
later
invited
today.
him to come, and he said, "Yeah, I want to make it." So, well, that's great. So he's kind of a new face, and I've never met him. So we're going to do a show just to get acquainted today. We'll be doing that at noon, and I've heard nothing but good things about him. So it'll be a fun show. Join us again at noon.
At noon.
And
3 o'clock Eastern time, I think.
Noon,
Yeah.
3 o'clock Eastern
Eastern
time.
time, yep.
All right. Okay, we're done. We got this thing done less than an hour. That was a pretty long